All right, guys, like I said earlier, we're going to go ahead and do a quiz review. So again, here is the reminders and things that we're trying to get done for this week. As a heads up, although we are trying to schedule at least 20 minutes of IXL time into our Wednesday classes, you do need about 40 minutes per week in order to make the 360 minutes you need for the semester or for the term. Okay. What that means is you need to get 360 minutes before spring break. All right. So we're going to try and get at least 20 minutes in class. I'm going to try and get you some time in class as well, additionally. But keep in mind that you need to make sure you are clocking your time. But if you're going through and you're working the async lessons and you're clicking on the skills in there and signing into IXL, that will count, okay? Because a lot of the async lessons have IXL links in them now. All right, so go ahead and please open up. Make sure you have a version of the assignment open, either the, oh my God, the cat, the link I sent you. If you do prefer PDFs, one moment, guys. There's the PDF. One moment, please. I need to go close the office door. My cat just opened it. Again. In or out. Apologies, guys. I apparently need to either replace doorknobs to get the ones that are round so he can't grab them. My cat figured out doorknobs a while ago. All right, so make sure you have something open, either, again, the Amplify link. Apologies if you think the Amplify link is cheesy. I was bored, so it is what it is. Um, I do like Dr. Seuss, if you cannot tell. All right, so let's go ahead and do the warm up on the Amplify. This is slide number 3, because you have to open Desmos before you move on. You'll notice that the Amplify, I'm just going to have to do it this, show it to you. You'll notice the Amplify is begging you to please, please, please open Desmos. Okay. All right. So, oh, goodness gracious. I like it. Oh, there we go. Okay. So if you look at the Amplify, all right, it's loading. I think my computer is crazy because I have too many things open. All right, that should work better. How do you log in? You should have a link, or sorry, you go to amplify.com, the link I sent, which is this one. And if you don't have an account, you can create an account. So slide number 2 says, open up Desmos, don't delay, let's calculate the quiz away. He, because I'm silly. All right, so which word, you can just either, we got blue, orange, green, right? And you can just put it in chat. Okay, hold on, I can't, you're lagging too. The PDF should be showing on the screen. I don't switch between. I'm bringing it back up. I just reset it. The PDF is, I use the PDF because I can keep the Spanish open pretty easily. All right, the code is, I think it's silly. The link it gives me has the code in it, and it won't register the code when you go. There you go. It's going in chat. 8G4G6Y. Okay, so we got blue, orange, green. All right, Radican, radical expression, index. You can just put in the chat when it's the answer is B, O, G. Why not? All right. So you're going to type your answer in the chat and don't hit enter until I say so. Ready? Which of these is the number written just outside and above the radical sign, indicating which root is taken? Which one is it? And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit enter. It is index. Good. It is G, index. Okay. So if you're looking at the Desmos, there should also be a picture that I think I used 3, where the 3 is highlighted. That is going to be the picture. Hang out if you're done, Diane, with everything. Just make sure you're staying around so you don't lose attendance credit, just to make sure. All right, so the number or expressions inside the radical sign. Is that the radicand or a radical expression? B or O? And go ahead and put it in chat and hit enter. Right. That is the radicand. And so by default, the last one is radical expression. An expression that contains a root, such as a square root, cube root, or higher order root. Now, I want you to take the next minute to make sure that your version is up to date. Rosalind, what's not showing you anything but a plain graph? Desmos. Well, you should, if you're using Desmos, it'll look like this when you first open it. And then you just type whatever math you're doing in here when we do the math, okay? All right, I'm going to give you about another 45 seconds to make sure your versions are up to date and got you have everything recorded and you're ready to move on. If you are ready to move on before we hit the minute, again, you can keep working ahead and amplify, practice ahead. That is up to you. The amplify is for notes. So if you did it a different way, you're fine. If you already went through and did the quiz without us, you're fine. If you're happy with your quiz grade. If you're not happy with your quiz grade, you get 3 attempts, so you may as well fix it. All right, moving on. Do some more practice. Today we're going to simplify exponential and radical expressions. So we can solve algebraic expressions and successfully complete the quiz. A refresher, okay, why we use them. All right, so let me go ahead and make this a little bit bigger so that the links will go. Which expression is equivalent to x to the 4th times x to the 9th? And give me a moment because I need to do this. It's really annoying. I know it seems weird that I have to do that. This needs to be the hand. All right. And you can answer it when pulls up, it's working on it. It's thinking about it. There it goes. All right. I'm going to give you 30 seconds because this one shouldn't take very long to put an answer in the poll. All right. We've got 6 people answered. We've got 39 to go. Let's go, people. 38 people should still be answering. 37. Let's go, guys. All right. We're down to 36 people. 35. 33. Good job. 32. Let's go. Let's see how many people we can get answered in that 30 seconds. All right. We got a total of 18 responses in that 30 seconds, and the vast majority of the people say B. How did you do that? The answer is B. How did you know? Oops, that's supposed to be at times. Added them together and hoped for the best. Well, that's good because in this case, that was the appropriate response, was to add them together. And because 9 plus 4 is 13, now, could you have done this in Desmos? Absolutely, especially when it's an X. I will show you how real quick. While you take some time and go to make sure yours is up to date. I keep hitting shift. I don't know why. X to the 4th times X to the 9th. And then we put X to the 13th. We can see that they are matching. Off, on, off, on. So when you multiply two things at the same base, so like the x and the x are the same, when you're multiplying it together, you have to add the exponents. And let me refresh why while everyone is still working through the problem and making sure that theirs is up to date. Okay, so as a reminder, let's go ahead and I'm going to break this down so you can see it, see why it's adding. Okay, so if we multiply, we have x to the 4th is x times x times x times x, and we're multiplying that by x to the 9th, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Can someone make sure I have 9 there? No, I hope I do. Okay, so then we just look here, how many x's do I have total? So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So I was able to make this multiply by x 13 times. Does that make sense? Okay, we're going to move on because we do need to make sure we have the time we need. All right, so let's look at number 3. Which expression is equivalent to x to the 3 over 11 squared? Now, remember, we're not multiplying this time. You're using the power. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and activate the tag, activate the poll, and I'm going to give you a minute and a half to answer. And I'm going to go through and say, remember, this is x raised to the 3/11 times x to the 3/11. That's okay, Sophia. If you disconnect, it happens. It happens to the best of us and even not the best of us. And it happens to the teachers too, so don't stress it. All right. You can always catch up when you come back. All right. 40 people haven't answered yet. Let's go, guys. Let's give it a shot. This is hard. Yeah. And actually, what this is showing me is that the fraction addition is getting them. Fraction multiplication is getting them. All right, we got 6 seconds left. We got 31 people who haven't chosen an answer. If you're not sure, it's okay to just guess and chat in the poll. No one's going to know. All right. So we have a pretty decent split between A and C. All right. A and C. So when I have a power raised to an exponent raised to a power, do we know what we do to that? Do you know what operation I would use? Any ideas? Multiplication, correct. So if you multiplied the exponent by 2, so I'm just going to show you this one first. 3 over 11 times 2. Our exponent is 6 over 11. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to set a value for x. So we're going to say x equals 2. Okay? Parentheses, Miss Mouseberry. Okay, so I'm going to say x time, to the 3/11 squared. I hope that squared that. That looks weird. And then we want x raised to the 6 over 11. Okay, it's not calculating it, but we can see the graph. So let me change this to A, and then we'll say A raised to the 3 over 11. There we go, now it's calculating it. Squared, and A raised to the 6 over 22, no, over 11. Sorry. All right. So does everyone see which answer it should be now? Whoa, Emily, really? They must think you're Hermione Granger and you have a time turner. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to our notes. It wouldn't matter. Morgan asked if it's supposed to be A equals negative, oh, A minus 2. No, it's supposed to be A equals 2. Everything went weird for me a moment there. But what I have typed here is A equals 2, not A minus 2. So when I said I put A instead of X, and I'll go back and show you again. Let me just, when I used X, it graphed. Okay, I'm going to stop the poll so it stops freaking out. So when I used X, it did the graph. When I put A equals 2 and then used A, it did the calculation. Okay, so if you change the variable to anything but X or Y, you can give it a value and it will calculate for you. Okay. Oh, that is weird. Yeah, it was equals. Awesome. All right, moving on. Now, on this one, we're going to do this one together using the calculator because this one has a lot going with it. All right, there's a lot going on here, and I want you to be able to focus. So everyone, open up your Desmos. Okay, and make sure, I'm going to go ahead and clear everything because I don't need anything right now. And I'm going to say A equals 2. No, you don't multiply the denominator by the numerator, by the number. The number is only multiplied, a whole number is only multiplied by the numerator. Okay, so I'm going to say A equals 2, B equals 3, and C equals 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and type the original expression the way I see it. When there's a lot going on with a fraction, I like to write the fraction bar first when I'm typing, simply because it defaults me to the numerator and I know I'm going to get to type what I see. All right, so we're going to put A raised to the 7th, and you have to hit the right arrow to get out of exponents, times B raised to the 5th raised to the 4th. If there are parentheses, you use parentheses. Always type exactly what you see. Okay? If you type, you could put A equals 3 and then B equals 4 and then C equals 5. It doesn't matter, as I just recommend having different values for them, but I don't think it even matters if they're different values. I just picked 2, 3, and 4 for simplicity. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and open the poll, and I want you guys to tell me which answer do you think I should check first? Okay. Which answer, and it doesn't matter if you think if it's right or wrong. Okay. We're not looking for a right answer or wrong answer. I want you to look and tell me which answer do you think I should check in the calculator first? Okay, so I'm going to put up a poll. Okay, and I'm going to give you 30 seconds to choose. All right, so just pick in the poll, which one do you think I should check first? And whichever one is the number one, that's the one I'll check first. My timer froze, but that's okay. We'll keep going. I must have accidentally double clicked. We got 38 people who haven't voted yet. Come on, guys. What am I going to do in class here? You got to tell me what to do. Otherwise, we're going to run out of time and you're not going to get to see every question. You'll have to watch a video of me doing it later. How annoying would that be? All right, we got 31 people who've answered. Looks like I'm actually gonna share it. You guys can argue it out in the poll. All right, it looks like I am gonna be testing answer A first. That's okay. It's okay. It's just, I'm just staying awake, guys. Okay? A lot of this is me staying awake. Don't worry. Okay. So we want to try a to the 7th, b to the 11th. So a raised to the 7th, b raised to the 11th. Do those numbers match? They absolutely match. So we are okay to put that as our answer. So go ahead and take the time it takes me to do this screenshot and put it in. No, I'm doing this the hard way. And go ahead and put it, fill in your version of the notes, or make sure you understand how to do this one on the quiz. Screenshot. Perfect. I'm doing this a lot harder. I don't know why I'm making it hard for myself. Okay, so there's the version for our notes. Alrighty, I'm going to move on to the next question. We are on question number 5, so let's do this one the same way. And since we already have values for A, B, and C, why did I put in random numbers for A, B, and C? Because they don't give us an equal sign here, so we don't have anything to solve with. We can just, they didn't give us any information, so right now we're just pretending it's A, B, and C are 2, 3, and 4, and they're letting it check. So if we're always using A equals 2, that's like saying 2 to the 5th to the 3rd is 2 to the 15th, and that's the same thing. So it helps us compare to make sure they're the same. So if the bases are the same values, the exponent, what they get when we raise it to the exponent, will be the same. But you cannot use 0 and you can't use 1, because 1 raised to any power is 1, 0 raised to any power is 0. And anytime 0 ends in the bottom of a fraction, you will not get a good answer. All right, so I'm going to just delete these two since I already have an A, B, and C. Like I said, we have A raised to the 5th, B raised to the 4th, oops, C, and then everything raised to the 3rd. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. And it's a really big number, but that's okay. We're not looking for what the answer is. We're trying to figure out which one matches. So again, I'm going to give you 30 seconds in a poll. I keep putting up a quick poll. That doesn't work, because I keep hitting quick poll for some reason instead of activate the tags. All right. Which one should I try? Basically, what do you think the answer is? Okay. I love that you guys are only choosing A or C so far. Oh, we got a B in there. That's still good. I like that no one has chosen D. I love that no one has chosen D. That actually makes me very happy that no one has chosen D. Someone chose D just because I said something. We're trying to make a Pac-Man here. Waka, 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 waka. All right, good. Looks like now everyone's agreeing on C, at least the 12 people who got their answers in. All right, cool. Let's try C, A to the 15th, B to the 12th, D or C to the 3rd. A to the 15. I don't actually need it because I know the answer. All right, perfect. Those are the correct answers. Good job. So go ahead and make sure that your version is up to date or that you have time to Make sure that you're familiar with it enough on the quiz so you can know if you need more practice. Okay. Good, good, good. All right. Moving along. We have 12 more minutes or 18 more minutes left in class. We will be done by 10. We will let out at 10:30, but we're on number 6, so we should be able to get this done. All right. Number 6, which expression is equivalent to d to the 8th over d to the 5th, all raised to the 2nd? All right, so I'm going to activate the tag, and then while I type in the answer or the work into Desmos, you can follow along and decide which answer you want me to test. Now, I'm going to delete all simply because I don't want to start having a mess. So I'm going to say d equals 2. Why 2? Because 2 is a low number. I like low numbers. All right, we had d to the 8th over the 5th. Okay. 8th divided by d to the 5th, all squared. Okay. And now, given that information, I'm going to give you guys 15 seconds to choose which answer you want me to test. Okay, so we've got 40 people who haven't chosen. Again, doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. I'm just going to pick the one with the most votes to start. You're just choosing my starting point, guys. All right, and looks like I am going to be trying answer A for my first choice. D to the 5th. All right, let's see if D to the 5th is the right answer. No, d to the 5th is not the right answer, but let's look here. We need to multiply 32 by 2. So how many more d's do we need? How many more 2's do I need? How many more times do I need to multiply by 2? Any ideas? To get from 32 to 64. Okay, we just did 5, so we want to try one more. Or how many more? Do I need one more? So if I wanted one more, let's try d to the 6th. Okay, I got 32, but I wanted 64. So let's try d to the 6th. Okay. All right, so take your moment while I grab the screenshot. Then good job. You got it right the first try. Not gonna lie, when I'm sharing, grabbing screenshots is way easier from the notes tab in here. So you guys get the amount of time it takes me to put the screenshot into the notes to answer the question on the quiz or in your note answer or choice or whatever you want, wherever you're working. Okay. All right. The area of a rectangle is 35 x to the 7th, y to the 4th square yards. If the length of the rectangle is 7x to the 3rd y squared yards, which expression represents the width of the rectangle in yards? So my first question to you guys is, how do you find the area of a rectangle? Who remembers how to find the area of a rectangle? Length times width. Good job, Cora. Thank you. If you're wondering why I use a cursive L, it's because that's indistinguishable from a 1 to me. So I use cursive Ls when I'm handwriting. All right. So if we're given the area and the length, I want to move this over here. We're going to have area divided by length is width. Okay. So we have 35 x to the 7th, y to the 4th, over 7x to the 3rd, y squared. Right? Now, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to give it some thought. And I want you to tell me, what am I going to be typing? Which answer choice am I going to try? So think about the different things you know about what's written there. What do you know about the coefficients? What do you know about testing different expressions? And again, like I will always do it this way. And because this is an X, I'm going to do the graph version for right now. Oh, maybe not. Doesn't like the graph. That's okay. Oh, because I have X and Y in here. X equals 2. Y equals 3. We won't do it. I have to change the variables. Okay. All right. It looks like you guys have even choices between A, B, and C. All right. Well, Miss Testa, which one do you think I should try first? A? Equals. I'm gonna give it value. All right. So A was 28, and I'm going to be changing the variables. A to the 10th, y squared. Oh, that should be a B. All right, that's clearly not the right answer choices. X to the 4th, y to the 2nd. So 5, a to the 4th, y to the 2nd. All right, since we did get the answer though, I'm going to go ahead and say we can stop it there because I am not going to, I wouldn't check more than the answer if I got the right answer. I'm not that kind of person that's good like that. That's not the right screenshot. Screenshots. Sorry, guys. So go ahead and make sure that your next one is ready, that you are ready for the next question. And if you're wondering what I'm doing when I'm doing the notes like this as you guys are working, it's so I'm saving myself some time. Work smarter, not harder. Okay, so we get 35 over 7, x to the 7th over x to the 3rd, y to the 4th over y squared. That way, at least there's an answer in both the ABC and the XY version. Okay, so on this one, I am going to recommend that we go ahead and change the variables to A. Let's just make it anything, A. And that way we can compare the answers because this one's going to take some time, right? Delete. A equals 2. All right, so we're going to say we have 9a. I need to have it open. There we go. To the 5th, close parentheses, square that, open parentheses, a raised to the 6th, close parentheses, raise that to the 1/2, and we get 663,552. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in the answer choices. You guys can keep watching. So I'm going to put 18a to the 7th. As we're running low on time, I want to make sure I get a chance for you guys to get to see this. All right, and we can see that the one that matches is 81 to the x to the 13th. Yes, Adrian. Huh. I'll look into that. Thank you for letting me know. Cora, we'll see how we get it. All right. Next one. Okay, guys, let's do some logic here. Ready? What's the square root of 64? We've been talking about this. What is the square root of 64? 8. So which answer choices can I eliminate? Which ones do you think I can get rid of? Which ones do I want to not test? Which ones do I want to not look at? If the square root of 64 is 8, I don't care. Oh, yes, I see. I understood what you were saying, Brooklyn. I just didn't want to say what you said out loud. Because I know that to be true. All right. They start with 16 and 4. We don't want those ones. All right. We're taking a square root. So when we do a square root, what we're going to do is look at these exponents and divide them by 2. What's 14 divided by 2? 14 divided by 2 is 7. And so go ahead and tell me, which one do you think is the answer, A or C? It is A. That's right. Perfect, guys, because the square root of 64 is 8. And we get this. And then again, we're dividing when we're taking a square root, we can just divide the exponent by 2. All right. Question 9. I want to make sure we get question 10 in here. I think there's a typo somewhere. Might be on my version. Okay. Notice how they all have 10 and 5, right? Does everyone see how they have 10 and 5? So we're just going to look at these variables, okay? Is 9 divisible by 2? No. What's the biggest number we can get out of 9 though? So if I went down a number, 8's divisible by 2, right? So how many do we get there? You get 8 and f to the first. So what's half of 8? 4. Perfect. And then we still have the 8 on the, or the f on the inside. All right. And what about g to the 5th? Is 5 divisible by 2? No. So we're going to go down 1 and look at 4. Divide our exponent in half. So we want the one that has f and g by itself inside. And so we're looking for this one. Yeah, go ahead and go. All right. That was the last one. I'm sorry, guys. All right, guys. I'm sorry about that. I normally try to keep up better than that. We'll see how it goes later. All right. So I'm going to go ahead